Today we have with us Hrithik Jaiswal, the visionary founder of FeetWings. Let's delve into groundbreaking world of healthcare technology, where Hrithik will share his journey of innovation aiming to change the lives of thousands of diabetic patients. Hrithik, with his unwavering dedication to improving the lives of those with diabetes, has harnessed the potential of smart textiles and cutting-edge sensors to create the revolutionary FeetWings smart socks. This remarkable invention offers early warning and management of diabetic complications, from neuropathy to hyperglycemia, all through a simple and innovative wearable. So stay with us as we explore the magic of FeetWings. Hrithik, please tell us about your startup journey. When and how did you decide to start?
So thank you for that introduction. So I started in my first year of college itself. So I, along with one of my college mates, had this idea of developing something for the space of diabetics. Since diabetes has been a very prominent and long-term issue with my family. I have had one of my grandparents being lost to diabetes. So I've seen the plight of diabetes. Even my father is a diabetic. He had to prick his finger almost on a daily basis to get his blood glucose levels. So I understood the problem. I related with it, and since by education I'm a biotechnologist, so it was a pretty easy choice for me to go into this field. It has been about 5 years since that, and FeetWings for now has become one of the most sought after smart textile wearable devices in healthcare. We are into the manufacturing phase, and soon we believe that the product will be out in the market.
So it's your personal journey that motivated to start you to start FeetWings. So Hrithik, you also participated in the Entrepreneurs Organization's Global Students Award. Please tell us about your experience.
It was a good 3 to 4 months. So it started off at the regional level, then it scaled into the South Asia level, where I and along with 2 other individuals were selected to represent India, actually Southeast Asia. In the entire journey, we got to meet a lot of entrepreneurs, seasoned entrepreneurs who were stellar stalwarts in their fields, be it marketing or designing or logistics, supply chain. Especially with the support from EO Noida, I got to speak to Neil sir, Jeetal sir. The interaction might be limited because of their busy schedules, but the inputs that they gave us to better our pitch decks, to better represent our products, was very valuable, and I still use them till now.
So how did actually GSEA award help you in your entrepreneurial journey, Hrithik?
So apart from the guidance, of course, meeting the teams that were there, students who were actually of my age, who were solving problems way beyond their scope, or anybody would have imagined the scope to be solved by such students. But they were there, they were solving it, they had made products, they had proper supply chains ready. So getting those interactions, making contacts. So in the initial startup ecosystem, there are not a lot more startups or founders that are serious.
So Hrithik, what do you have to tell to the other students who need funding or motivation, or that first push that they need to give shapes to their startup ideas?
First of all, apply for the GSA competition. But apart from that, as far as funding is concerned, as far as taking that initial steps are concerned, of course it is difficult. But getting the right founders on your way, getting the right journey, and getting the right support is definitely important. GSA could be one of those helping members. So, but in spite of that as well, government funding is at a high rise in the usual startup ecosystem. So you could go there. But definitely, getting the right co-founders and the right guidance would be the first steps.
So there has been a huge paradigm shift in the startup ecosystem from what was there 5 years ago, Hrithik. So what would you like to say on that?
There is definitely a paradigm shift. There's sort of startups that are coming into play, not only startups that are into the agriculture space or the drone manufacturing space, but definitely in the healthcare space as well. A
Also,
couple
in
of
terms of the
my
support that you get from the government or you get from the incubation centers also. So there is a major shift in the in entire support system, like for a startup, for an entrepreneur in India.
definitely every college has almost every college has their own incubator to support startups. Each of these incubators have schemes present by the government, be it SISFS or the Birac Seed Fund. So definitely there is support available. The only thing that is left is the initial push that is required to take the first step.
Okay. So, like, if a student wants to apply for the GSIE award, so how can they approach them? Like, what is the procedure? If you want to say, share your experience with it.
So how to approach them? First of all, go follow them on Instagram. They update you about forms that have been released. Go there, fill up the form, they'll select you. Your regional EOs will select you. So I applied to EO Noida. Depending upon where you located, that EO will select you. Post that, there will be an initial screening round where you and other people from the same region, out of which one will be selected to represent your EO. Then you compete on a national level and then on an international level.
So it definitely gives you a global exposure. It gives your idea global exposure, Hrithik. So,
Definitely,
Hrithik,
yes.
now coming to your startup FeetWings, can you provide an overview of your startup and its mission in the healthcare technology industry?
FeetWings always started off being by envisioning it to be a medical healthcare device.
Mm-hmm.
We are presently in the field of diabetes, so the aim here is to provide non-invasive blood glucose monitoring and a easy management system for diabetics to monitor the day-to-day progression of diabetes and accordingly alert them and provide them with tips and tricks to manage those systems. So you mentioned initially hyper and hypoglycemia. These are one of the conditions when your blood glucose falls low or goes very high. So actually making the user aware and letting them know that what needs to be done. Furthermore, you mentioned about foot ulceration. So in foot
So,
ulcer, the major
you said
issue,
that it's non-invasive. So, how accurate is it?
so these we are actually FeetWings also started and envisioned this to be the first commercialized and tested non-invasive glucometer. We did a testing initially and we're undergoing tests right now. As I mentioned that we're into the manufacturing phase, but in there's a MARD of 30. MARD is a term that is used instead of accuracy. It is about
Yeah.
30.
So, Hrithik, how does FeetWing Smart Sock differ from traditional diabetic monitoring solutions?
First of all, the sock is oriented towards people that suffer from neuropathy. So in neuropathy, you are at a high risk of getting a foot ulcer. The major impact behind getting or the problem is the user is not aware that the ulcer is being formed because neuropathy has or numbs your nerves. So my socks essentially alert users 30 days before the clinical manifestation of the foot ulcer is even about to begin, so that you can go ahead and get your leg checked out by a podiatrist. So we are an alerting system.
So nowadays, diabetes is a lifestyle style disease, Hrithik. So we all can relate to the problems that you are finding solutions to. So tell us more about the innovative smart textile technology that you have used in the FeetWing Smart Yarn, and what are the key advantages of embedding sensors into the yarn?
So the smart sock essentially, as this smart yarn, in which those sensors, as you mentioned, are embedded. Now this gives me the ability to monitor the 7 most vulnerable spots of your sole of your feet. So I'll explain the process. You take the smart yarn, you use those yarn to weave this sock, and then you give it to a patient suffering from neuropathy or diabetes, depending upon the condition. This gives me the ability to monitor the 7 most probable spots where an ulcer can be formed. So
What do you
I
mean by
alert users.
the ability to monitor those parameters, Hrithik?
So the
What do you
smart
exactly
yarn
mean?
has embedded pressure and temperature sensors.
Mhm.
Usually where on any given day or during any given duration, The spots where an ulcer can be formed show a high pressure, high relative pressure or temperature zones. So using these two values and just the yarn as my sensor, I gave users alert.
Okay. So, can you explain how the foot ulcer monitoring system works and its significance for a diabetic patients, Hrithik?
So not exactly a diabetic patient. Diabetes, there is a condition known as diabetic foot. Its precursor or its causing factor could be neuropathy. But a diabetic patient suffering from diabetic foot is first of all advised to wear a compression sock to increase the blood flow to his extremities. Now, what we do, we are again a compression sock, but the yarn that we use to make that sock is called the smart yarn, which has the sensors embedded. This alerts users.
Okay.
So there's an app.
So there is an app which can be downloaded on the mobile and it can alert, just like a smartwatch. You have that smart feature on your mobile in which you can get the alert by wearing those socks.
Correct.
If I'm right.
Because see, that is the major problem. Users don't usually know that there's an ulcer being.
They don't realize that there is an ulcer forming. They just think that it's the numbness which is because of wearing the shoes or like sitting in one posture for a longer time. So you are right, Hrithik, that is a problem indeed. So what data does the FeetWings app collect and how does it contribute to the overall monitoring and management of diabetes, Hrithik?
So not only alerting you whenever your foot ulcer or a high probable spot is present, but we also monitor your blood glucose levels non-invasively, giving you overall awareness about how your condition is progressing. Depending upon your metabolic rates, your hydration levels, we then recommend steps to get you back into the safe zone of blood glucose, depending upon your conditions.
Okay, so when you are wearing the FeetWings socks, then during there is a interval during fixed interval of times, it will monitor your sugar levels and it will send the alerts on your app, if I'm right.
Correct. Okay. So we get two data points, the probable zones and your glucose levels, and then using those two values, we give you management techniques to monitor those increases or decreases in sugar levels.
And then once you get the data, Hrithik, how do you utilize the gathered data to provide personalized diabetes management recommendations to the users?
So since I know your blood glucose levels and I monitor your such given values, I am aware of your metabolic rates, your hydration levels, and we ask you your activity requirements. So there might be a condition, just giving an example, let's just say your blood glucose rises by 40 mg/dl. So depending upon your condition, I'll be able to tell you to maybe go for a 800 step walk or drink some water depending upon your condition. That is how you manage your glucose levels back to the safe zone.
So, is there any human intervention here, Hrithik? Do you have any professionals who provide the solutions once the data is gathered, or it's AI driven technology which gives you the solutions for the problems?
The management techniques are AI driven depending upon your sugar levels and your hydration levels, metabolic rates. Essentially, FeetWings is an alerting tool. We give you the right time, the right place, and aware your loved ones as well that you need attention. The decision ultimately is taken by your podiatrist or your diabetologist. We are there to assist and synergize with the existing ecosystem.
So, Hrithik, what is the process for the users to connect with the healthcare providers using the data collected by FeetWings?
Alright, so this is a system that is yet to be placed in the but what will happen here that a simple user journey would be you require assistance for your diabetes. You go to a simple doctor. They simply recommend you the smart sock out there. They'll give you buy FeetWings, you wear it, you use it on a regular basis, and the suggestions that are given on the app are given by us. But the alerts when you get for your most probable foot ulcer zones, for that we'll tell you to go to your podiatrist. So again, if a person is using the sock, he has a foot doctor to help them with their condition.
I think the product is already launched, right?
No, not right now. It's in the manufacturing stage.
It's in the manufacturing state. Okay. So, do you have any success, any case studies? Like, have you tried this in your trial phase? Are there any studies that you might like to highlight, for showing the effectiveness of FeetWings in preventing diabetes complications and improving patient outcomes?
So in our studies as well, we came across Mr. Manmohan Jewel. Actually, he had a foot ulceration, and he had an amputation as well. On any given day, he was just using the prototype for the sock, and he fell unconscious in public. This was because of a high in or blood glucose levels.
Mm-hmm.
There and then, the socks alerted their loved ones to give attention to the patient. Furthermore, not related to the product itself, but there have been numerous instances where people unknowingly of their foot condition have poured hot boiling water on their feet because they can't really feel their feet.
Because of the numbness in the feet.
Correct.
Due to diabetes. Okay.
Even
So, yeah, please carry on, Hrithik.
even if a patient has already got an amputation, so when does an amputation happen? If a foot ulcer goes undetected for a long period of time, leaving amputation as the only option. So even if a person has already got an amputation, he is at a much higher risk to get another one, because the condition only progresses with time if not monitoring and management is done. There still have been conditions where a person who's already gotten an amputation has not been made aware of a probable spot.
Okay. So, if I may ask you, Hrithik, what is the age group that you are targeting for your product? Like, when does this foot ulcer usually develops? At what age?
See, the age group, it is not about the age group. It is about how severe or how long you've had diabetes or diabetic neuropathy. It is a very slippery slope. It only declines, the condition worsens with time. So a person, let's just say type 1 diabetic, he or she, the child needs to monitor their blood glucose and after a certain age get insulin. So for them it is since childbirth. Type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disease. It is, you get it depending on what you eat and how your lifestyle is, even in how your family history is. So anywhere a person from the age of 18 till a 60-65 year old person, everybody who suffers from diabetes is at a risk of getting these complications.
So, where are you planning to make your product launch, Hrithik? Where will, if anybody wants to buy the socks from FeetWings, where they can buy it from?
Currently, we were doing a manufacturing facility in Chennai. Now we have moved to a facility called AMTZ in Vizag. There we are currently discussing manufacturing possibilities. FeetWings sock will be available online as soon as we release. We aim to get the release done in January 2024. They will be available online. You can just go to either our website or any Amazon or Flipkart product, and you will be able to buy the device.
So, what is the price range that you are planning to keep for this socks, Hrithik?
So we use subscription as a service model, which means that you buy the product for 3 months or a year. For the entire year, it will cost you 4,799 for 6 pairs of socks.
That's along with the subscription.
Correct. You get the app services included in this package. So it's 4,799 for the entire year, where you get 6 pairs of socks and 2 pairs of readers. Again, the readers are magnetically attachable and detachable to the sock, and the socks are completely machine washable and dryable. So you just take the reader out, you put the socks into the machine, and that's all.
Okay. So if you talk about the challenges, Hrithik, what were the key challenges that you faced in the healthcare technology industry, and how are you addressing them?
So like any of the startup, the initial problems were the same. Getting the right funding, getting the right mentors. I have been given the right mentors. So through the entire 5-year process, we got to meet with various healthcare professionals who have been in the field time and again.
So
Apart
mentorship
from
is
that,
very important in your startup journey.
correct. Again, the vision and the objective behind FeetWings was to make the first non-invasive and data-backed commercially viable product. So to get that, there are a lot of regulations placed by the CDSCO, which is the guiding authority behind regulations for medical devices. So getting through that. But again, that was also mitigated by, again, the research facility that we have been given at AMTZ and the consultancies with consultants, regulatory consultants that are working closely with us.
So how do you plan to expand your reach out and impact in the healthcare market in the coming years, Hrithik? What's your plan?
So first of all, the socks are catered towards people that suffer from diabetic foot. But we aim to transform this into a simple patch or a coin-sized unit that is just based on your wrist or on your arm. Again, it will give people who just want to manage their diabetes and do not suffer from neuropathy or diabetic foot a much smaller and much more compact form factor. That is the next product in line.
So Hrithik, what is your plan to reach out to the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities? Because people in the tier 1 cities usually have the access to such products and they are much aware about the conditions and about these products. So what is your plan about creating awareness amongst the people in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities and making a product available there?
So again, for diabetes, awareness will be our first priority. We have a social media channel monitored by my co-founder, Dr. Siddhant Bhargava. He has a reach of more than 2.5 lakh health conscious users and a doctor network, or a doctor influencer network over Instagram. Even in tier 2, tier 3 cities, everybody nowadays has a phone. So awareness begins there. Secondly, as I mentioned in my previous answers, and we're trying to miniaturize the form factor with just a reader that is placed on your arm. This will humongously reduce the cost of the reader.
Okay.
Making it viable for any person to buy it.
So Hrithik, to end this interview, what's your message for the students who have such innovative ideas and who are just thinking to start the business, but they are not able to do that? They don't have the courage to leave this to start the business along with the studies. So what is the message that you would like to give them?
There is no message as such. I am still figuring things out myself, but I understand what is the hardest part. It is to just take the first step. If you ensure that you get the right people on your board, if you ensure that your idea speaks to a large number of people, you just need to take that one single step. That is all.
Okay, taking the first step is most important according to Hrithik. So Hrithik, thank you for talking to us. I hope this conversation inspired, educated and offered a glimpse to our viewers into the future of diabetic care. Together, I'm sure we can make a difference. Read more about this story on TICE.news. Thank you for watching this video. Do like, subscribe and share TICE newsletters. Follow us on Google News, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Let's stay in touch and stay tuned here.